ideas and opinions about the language acquisition. And we're receiving tonight Elder Rosso and Elder Bateman. Bateman, sorry. So, I would like to say that we are very happy, and this is an opportunity to solve your questions. Any curiosity you have, just ask him, okay? And he can answer anything. Anything.
Maybe.
All your doubts, all your questions, he can solve anything, okay? Please, come here. Come over. Come over. Okay, others, please introduce yourselves, and then they will introduce themselves.
Alright, cool.
Let's get started.
My name is Elder Bateman. I'm from the United States, the state of Washington. I have a big family, 4 older brothers, and 1 little sister. Things I like to do personally, I like to play golf, basketball, fish. I like to play all sports except soccer.
Oh man.
But now I'm 20 years old and I'm serving a mission for my church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I'm here in Brazil, specifically the state of Pernambuco, aqui, serving a mission for our church. We have a message very important for everyone that wants to hear more about Jesus Christ.
I'm Elder Grosso. I'm from São Paulo. I'm 20 years old. I like to drive my motorcycle, and I like very much Pernambuco. Our mission is for 2 years. I have a very difficult to speak.
No, he speaks really well. He's a nerd.
He's
I'm
a
a
nerd.
nerd.
You are Milhouse. Vocês conhecem Milhouse?
From Simpson?
Yeah.
Of course.
But seriously, we're here. We live in Garanhuns right now, and we have a message that is very important for you, them, everybody, that can really help everyone. I didn't come here to Brazil to preach something that's false or that's only somewhat true, but our message is really the message of God. Because it's not actually mine, it's His. I'm just spreading it, sharing it. And if you guys want, you can receive this message. And with the message, there are blessings guaranteed.
Okay, and do you have any questions? Just for curiosity? No?
Rebecca.
They need to introduce themselves.
Okay, yes, introduce yourself now.
Yes.
It's your turn. Okay? Let's start. There.
What?
You.
Hey, my name is Duilen. Age. I am 20 years old. Another thing? What else?
Do it third.
What?
Do you
What are
have
you
a
doing?
girlfriend?
What?
Do you have a girlfriend?
No, I don't have.
He doesn't have a girlfriend.
I'm alone, I'm by myself.
Okay. Your turn, Josh.
Oh,
The thing I may say is I'm open. It's a common name here in Brazil. I have 20 years old. I was learning of this guy, Rio Alejandro. And I passed only 2 years studying English. My facility in English only to speak. I don't understand so well when some people say I have a program here. So my things I like to do is, for example, play my violin. My church, my religion is the Presbyterian religion. My church is called the CCB, Congregation Christian in Brazil. I believe it's all thing as I like to do. There is no more thing for I say. It's your turn. 18 years old. I have 3 brothers. I'm from Chile.
Jurema.
From where?
Jurema.
It's near from here. It's near.
Yeah, it's a small town near here.
My name is Georgia.
30 minutes.
My name is Georgia. I live in Lajedo. I am teacher.
Is there a vibration? Is that
I'm Israel. I'm 19 years old, and I like so much of math. So that's it.
It's addicted.
What?
It's addicted, man.
It's very
Math.
crazy.
Oh,
It's
math.
very crazy about math.
Yeah.
Math.
It's a piper.
I thought he said meth.
It's a piper.
You know meth?
Math.
M-A-S-S.
Meth.
That's the math.
What a mess. What a mess.
Meth. Olha, meth é tipo de droga.
Really?
Muito ruim.
Então,
What a coincidence.
What a
It's
Math.
like
Math.
Math.
Mas é math.
So it's math or math?
Math.
Math.
The drug is meth. I'm all about meth.
Mas é a mesma coisa.
a mesma coisa.
But he has Book of Mormon.
Eu não entendeu.
Go ahead, it's you, Rebecca.
I asked him to sit here,
Yeah.
so he
Right.
will be the next. Where's the girl?
It's your turn.
There was a girl here. A girl. So it's her turn. I'm kidding. There I know me. My name is Rebecca. I live here. I'm an English student. I like to do a lot of things. To study, to have fun, to travel, to drive, to ride horse, and to learn new languages and to make new friends. That's it.
It's your turn. Involved.
My name is Rivaldo. And I'm from here, Lajedo. I love English and
Now I got it.
And I'm
Now I got it.
36 years old. And, that's it.
Okay, man. I'll introduce. My name is Jorge Azevedo, and I was born in São Caetano do Sul, São Paulo. I live in here in 12 years, and I like this. I like here. I like live here, and I am a beginner student of English. I love the language, English. It's very important.
Again.
And today I'm very happy because you are in here in our school, okay?
Because we're missionaries?
Don't understand you?
Because we are missionaries?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. You are a good person. very important
Cool.
for us. Their presence is very important for us.
Thank you.
Like students and like in the sons of God. And that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Your turn.
Anything else? No?
No.
So, elders, now I would like you that give some tips about the language. If you want, you can explain about how you could acquire language and talk to the people in the streets. How did you start the study language and learning the vocabulary?
Okay. I started off learning Portuguese in the CTM, Centro de Treinamento Missionário. There we learned a lot, studied every day for 9 weeks. It was tons. It was really cool, but it was a little bit hard. But the thing that I really think is very important is verbs. Because you're gonna learn nouns, subjectivos, when you're out there in the world, you know, living. But you gotta learn verbs and how to conjugate the verbs. I think this is very, very important. But really, when I learned the most Portuguese was not when I was in the CTM, but when I was here in Pernambuco. Okay, because I was really out there in the world speaking with people, listening to people, speak real things, you know. Because in CTM, it was fake. They were trying to set up
Simulations.
Simulations. But out here in the real world, it's real, exactly. And I was, you know, I have to learn Portuguese to preach the gospel. So I have this motivation. So I'm always trying to learn more. I'm always writing down words. One thing that I always like to do is talk with little kids because they're very patient with me. But I'm serious. I like to ask little kids what words mean, and they think it's funny that I cannot speak Portuguese, but it's all cool. But seriously, the most important thing about learning a new language, I think, is just the practice. You need practice. You need time. I think you need 6 months to really understand mais ou menos a new language. You need to live in the country. You need to, you know, be one of the people.
No, you speak very well.
Thank you. But it's because I have almost 7 months here in Brazil, so I have a lot of time. But one thing, we cannot watch movies because we don't really have time. But movies, I think, is very important because you guys cannot find always a native speaker of English, but you can always rent a movie and watch it in English. This is very important because you just need the practice of hearing and then pronouncing the words, trying to say the words exactly how the people in the movie say it. Another thing I like to do, I'm always reading. I'm always trying to read in the church magazines we have, the scriptures, because when I'm doing this, I'm thinking in Portuguese. You know, I'm really trying to learn this language and I'm thinking only in Portuguese. The more and more that you're thinking in the new language, the more and more you're going to start getting a better grasp, a better hold of the language. So really, what I'm saying is you need to practice, you need to have the motivation, and you can't ficar desanimado. But here, you know, it's very important that you learn the basics, you learn how to make sentences, but like how they've said, when you leave here, you're gonna speak English or Portuguese? Portuguese. But you need to try to speak English always, if you really want to try to learn the new language. This is what I'm really preaching this. If you want to learn a new language, you've got to practice it as much as you can. If you know a buddy who speaks English, only speak English with him. You know, when you're here, only speak English here. But like what I'm saying, do everything you can to really learn the new language. And I guarantee with practice, it will come.
The more you practice, the more you learn.
So, any questions? No? Curiosity?
Sobre a gente,
Your question?
o que nós fazemos.
You write down your question. Do you want to make it?
No, realmente. I always have this little notebook with me. I need it. But it's also really helpful to write down words. And then during the night, I have my little dictionary and I find them. And then the next day, I try to use this word. Because it's very important. If you learn something, you got to teach it to someone. It's going to help you learn better. Teach what you learn. And you're going to get a better hold of the language. So my hit is to always, with your cell phone, I think would be the best way, write down the words you don't know. Or I always write down words in English and then find it in Portuguese. Or I hear someone say something in Portuguese and then I find it in English.
Okay, what's the hardest part to learn language, the Portuguese? Sometimes you can feel disappointed, talk to the people, and you see that you can't understand all the words that somebody says. But how do you feel about it?
At the beginning of the mission, people would be talking. I did not understand anything, and I would just get upset, and I wouldn't pay attention anymore. Like, oh, I don't care, won't pay attention, and I wasn't learning anything when I was doing that. But the more and more that I've learned, the more and more I'm able to understand, the more and more attention I'm giving to people. You gotta really try to listen, because I realized when I really try to understand, I can basically get most of it. There's words I don't know, but if I really focus on the person, one thing I do is I look at their lips. It helps me.
Lips.
No, I'm serious.
Olhar nos lábios.
But sometimes it doesn't work, because can meet someone speak so fast. It's really difficult.
But you cannot get depressed and be, I don't know this, I'm not gonna learn. You just got to keep trying, because with time, you're gonna learn it. Sometimes I'm walking in the road, I think, man, I don't know this language, I'll never learn. Then I look at some 3-year-old kid sitting on the sidewalk who speaks better than I do. And I think, if that kid can, I can. Because he has 3 years, and I have 20,
30.
I'm smarter than he is. But I'm serious, one thing my other companion, he always said, don't be negative. Don't be saying, I would say at times, I can't do this, I can't learn it. He says, I do not want to hear you say this.
An important thing, don't be impatient.
Oh man, I'm the worst.
Never.
I get upset quick. No. But you just really gotta be committed. You really just want to learn. I know that if you want to learn something, not just with the language, if you want to play soccer, you've got to play as much as you can. If you want to play golf, you gotta play golf. But with practice, it will come. Because, I'm not talking bad about the 3-year-old kid, but he can speak Portuguese and I can't. It's because he has time.
Okay, good. Well, I think that it's a very important explanation about language. Everybody here is growing and developing themselves. And, everybody here has a good willing to learn and grow. And I think that's the real thing, to learn any language. Well, I would like to say, do you have any questions? Anything else? Would you like to ask anything else? No? No questions?
I have a couple stories that I think are funny. One time I was talking with a little 9-year-old kid about cartoons, and this. And I was talking with him a lot, and he just stops and looks at me, and he goes, in Portuguese, "Are you speaking Portuguese or Japanese? Because I don't understand." Oh man, I almost cried. But and another time, I went up and I started talking with the woman. "Oh, we're missionaries of our church. Would you like to hear a message?" And she looks at me and says, "You're beautiful, but I don't understand one word you say." I quit talking. I felt really bad.
Okay, elders, I think it's enough, and I would like to say thank you for everything. Thanks for all, and I'd like to say that thanks for coming. Well, now to finish the session, let's take a picture together. Okay, now, do you know how to pose? Ok, então vamos tirar uma foto, né? Com os elders. Tirar uma foto aqui com vocês.
21 minutos.
Beijão.
Parou.